let's talk a little bit about early expectations. Year 4 for Napier. The schedule obviously exactly flips. We have some big games at home. I know you've got to be pumped about Arch coming to Gainesville. I think Texas, Florida, and the Swamp is going to be huge. That Tennessee game is one I have circled. I don't know about you, but have I still have some trauma from 2001 when Tennessee came to town the first week of December because the game in September was canceled because of 9/11, and I don't love seeing them at the end of the season. But what are your thoughts on this schedule?
Yeah, that's true. It being that late in the season, that changes a lot of things because of where the teams are and just the momentum that they're building on. I'm excited about it. I think there's a few. I like the fact that we finally. I mean, this is the first time since Billy's been here where he gets a cupcake week one. Like as
Yeah.
much as I love to get like I've loved dogfights in week one. This team I think can benefit tremendously on getting off to a good start, and they've got 2 games where they can really get the ball rolling, and then they get tested with LSU, which I love. I think it's a good punch in the mouth and a good. Because you don't lose a season there, which is good. People may get pissed and want to win that game, but the way that college football has changed, you don't lose a season. It's so early on, people are going to forget about it, but you get a true test and true battle will of this team. I think Georgia's very beatable. I think Texas. I think the schedule. Like, look, a lot of people had. I mean, Andy Staples had Florida projected in his playoffs. They're looking. The schedule is flipped, but I've been saying it all along. A lot of teams took steps back. Florida seems to be on the right step up, and there's confidence to believe that we now, I believe, are one of the teams that teams are scared to play versus how it was last year, where it's like we're facing the gauntlet. We are now part of someone else's gauntlet. How Florida should be.
Yeah, I agree with that entirely. What do you think Napier needs to accomplish this year?
Oh yeah, floor ceiling. Look, I've been saying playoff or bust. That's where my head's at. I think the way that it is, I think you can because look, you don't have to be in the SC championship. I think 9 games get you in there. I think 9 games is very doable. It has to be. Like, what are we doing? I mean, you've built up to this point. Like you got a quarterback. I know DJ's young. There's still a lot of things, but you have the trench work is at its strongest that you've had, especially offensive line wise. If not now, then when?
Yeah.
You know what I
I mean,
mean?
offensive
So
line is going to be the strongest that it's been in 10 years.
and you have a generational talent at quarterback. The defensive line. I mean, we lose 2 big guys, but you got Jamar Lyons coming back. Caleb Banks coming back is absolutely massive. Those young guys showed a lot of promise. I'm excited about the edge room. Tyreek Sapp coming back was huge. George Gums was an absolute steal last year. Cameron James, they talked about on 247, and I've said him on our show. I love his speed on the football field. We were spoiled with edge players with Pyburn, and of course, we've got LJ McCray. I think LJ could maybe slide in a little bit, but I'm not gonna act like I know what I'm doing. If he trims up, gets a little bit thicker, then yeah, and then he could play that edge position. But I just think that he possesses more of a, and he played D line in high school, and I think he
Yeah.
wants to play the edge. So I'm cool with it. I just need to see more of a coming off that edge type of speed from him. But if he can flourish and be with the 5-star guy he's supposed to be, that's exciting. And the talent in the cornerback room, I mean, very young, but they just the Will Harris type, the style that he goes after, very much different from Corey Raymond, more of a stocky, lengthy, not as lengthy, more of a short, stocky guy that they're all just killers, just head loose. Again, I don't know who compared. I think it was Wilt Fong compared. Uh, was it Hanks to Joe Hayden?
Joe Hayden. Yeah.
Hell
Which
of a, hell of a comp.
doesn't.
Hell of a comp. But I get where he's coming from of like just kind of like, hey, I'm gonna knock your tooth out. Major right esque style. Like all these guys possess that. Where I think Will was or Corey. It was just, I mean, look, nothing's wrong with either one. It's just what fits your mold and your personality. And I like the mold and personality that they're building back there.
Oh, so what do you think about that Miami game? We go down there third week of September, I believe. I think it's. I'll get right back to the video, but first, I appreciate BetUS for all their support. Just quickly, make sure you're betting with them and using their code YouTube150. That'll get you a 150% signing bonus on your first deposit. You'll also get 125% on your next 2 deposits. All of that up to $2,000. With the Super Bowl coming up and a red hot Gator basketball team on weekly, make sure you're betting with BetUS. Or, I don't know, like the 14th of September, something around in there. What do you think about
LSU
that?
scares me more than that game. That game doesn't concern me. I think that team they've done a good job. They've got some I think trench work wise, Miami's done well. I think they take a little bit of a step back. Carson Beck doesn't scare me at all. I think he's a bum. And I think he's just coming back for the check because he knows he ain't got that dog in him. I think Cam Ward was an exceptional collegiate athlete. I'm not sure how it's going to transition into the NFL. I've had my thoughts, but he's someone like a Caleb Williams who just really put on a show in college and made it like Jordan Travis was for FSU. The guy's a treat and did a lot of great things. I'm not that game. I would put it second on my list.
Mhm.
I like Texas at home. I feel good about that game. Ole Miss on the road doesn't scare me. I think Austin Simmons. I know he can sling it. I think he's a great football player, but there's a lot of rotation with him in this ring in the portal. I think Lane just finds a way to lane it. Tennessee, that's Tennessee. You know what I mean? I put that in its own category. In Georgia, it's Georgia, but I don't know where I put Georgia, Miami of scariness of like it's just Georgia.
This like feeling that Georgia has taken the tiniest step back. I don't think that that will last because I think Kirby Smart is an incredible coach. And then you look at their recruiting. I saw a list where it was like the who signed the number one player in every single position, and Kirby Smart signed like almost a third of them.
Who
We're
had the
talking.
kicker though? Who had the
It,
kicker though?
we got the kicker. We
You
got
know
the
what I'm
kicker.
saying? You know what I'm
So
saying?
but so I don't think that this slump will last for long, but I think that there's a good opportunity to get one back from them this year.
Yeah, I think you nailed on the head. It's not like they made a fall. It's like a Biden slip up the steps. It's a little trip for Georgia here. I don't think it's a huge fall, but there is a step back. You got to strike, and
Yeah.
that's kind of how I feel. Look, honestly, for Miami and Georgia, they both kind of take a little bit of a dip. I think Miami with bringing look Beck's a bum, but I still think that. And I'm eating my words because I thought he was going to be much better than what he was, but he just doesn't possess that leadership mentality. That's more of where my hate comes from. I think he can sling the football and do all those great things, but push comes to shove, he just doesn't have him. He didn't. He had plenty of times to step up and be the guy. Just never gave it to me last year, and I think
Yeah.
that's where we can overcome Miami.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, Shelton, this was super fun. Thanks for
Right.
hanging out with us. We're going to have to do it on a more regular basis here. I missed you. It's been a while.
I agree. Make sure you guys too, and we'll have to get you back on our show. I know the fans are chomping to see Allie as well. So
We
thank
definitely
you.
need to let everybody watching know where they can find you if they haven't seen High Top, which is unlikely, but just in case.
Yeah, we're at High Top Sports on X, Twitter, and on YouTube. So we got our live shows every Wednesday live at 8:35. We come hang out. We got Dave Swolder on the show, our co-host, and we try to get a lot of people on. We have the new CEO of Florida Victorious coming on next week. So
Nice.
gonna chop his ear off and see what he's got going on. So
All right. Well, I love it. Well, thanks for hanging out. We will talk to you real soon.
yes, ma'am. Thank you.